you push for, table, and vote in favor of the urgent enactment of a Selangor Climate Emergency Act by Climate Action Week 2024, September 17?
Yes, definitely. Also because we are in a situation of climate crisis right now. Our highest daily value recorded was just last month, the global highest value. So we are definitely in a climate emergency right now. So we definitely have to vote for this.
Yep, thank you. Number 2, will you push for, table, and vote in favor to institutionalize a just transition mechanism of the fossil fuel economy towards a low carbon society? And will you push for the increase of resources for enabling community resilience and climate adaptation and education by Climate Action Week 2024, September
Definitely.
17?
Definitely. Subang, especially Sunway in itself, where I'm contesting, has already been is pushing for an SDG status city. So we definitely have to push for this. But the important part is we need a legislation with bite, not just legislation for the sake of having a legislation, but enforcement is key also.
Okay, thank you. Number 3, will you push for, table, and vote in favor of a Freedom of Information Act so the public can access information related to environment and climate and all administrative and governance matters not directly related to national security by Climate Action Week 2024, September 17?
Selangor already has a Freedom of Information Act enactment, but what the problem is now is nobody knows about it. So while the enactment is in place, what needs to be done is it needs to be further strengthened and it needs to be pushed to the public. The voter education needs to be there so people are aware that Selangor already has a Freedom of Information. Selangor and Penang has it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if other states have it, but I know Selangor already has an enactment for this.
Okay, thank you. Number 4, will you push for, table, and vote in favor of a citizen's freedom to criticize and question Governance Act on all matters of government, especially related to the protection of the environment, indigenous people's rights, biodiversity and wildlife rights, climate and social justice that will allow the citizens of Malaysia the liberty from persecution in defending their rights to rule of law, clean air and water, ecosystem and human rights protection, and all other fundamental liberties by Climate Action Week 2024, September 17?
Yes. And not just do we need to table this act, we also have to repeal acts that act against this interest. So such as SOSMA, these draconian acts which have been used against to attack fundamental liberties. These acts have to be repealed as well as enforcing acts to promote this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Number 5, will you defend and push for measures to ensure the protection of existing forest reserves in your state and to encourage the same in other states so that forests remain intact as whole functioning ecosystems to ensure continual protection of Malaysia's rich biodiversity, water catchment areas, and our rights to a green environment?
Yes, definitely. We are also pushing for the decentralization of power. As in issues like degazettement of forest reserve, it should not be done at the state cabinet level by the Menteri Besar in the Exco. It should be tabled onto the floor of the DUN, of the Dewan Undangan Negeri. This way, you are able to allow for transparency and accountability, and it is voted for on a public forum as opposed to it being controlled by the political elites.
Okay, thank you. Number 6, will you push for changes in law or table in parliament to bring back local council elections? If yes, by when?
Definitely 100%. This is on the top of our policy agenda and it needs to be done as soon as possible.
Thank you. Number 7, do you place your voters or constituents and their needs, rights, and aspirations over that of your political party and your conscience and morality?
The concerns of the voters will always trump all. They've given you the trust to govern for them, and therefore you are required to represent the voters' interests and not the parties. I'm sure there can be middle grounds found and compromises can be made along the way, but the voters' values and the voters what they want is always the most important.
Oh, thank you. Number 8, will you push for a Malaysian Harmony Act that promotes compassion, kindness, and accommodation for diversity of opinion, culture, personal choices, and inclusivity that enables freedom from fear of bullying, oppression, retaliation, persecution, and prosecution, and limits a citizen's choice to be and express themselves within the context of existing laws and existing cultural norms? This refers to the persecution and prosecution of segments of society that have opposing or different views, personal choices, practices, lifestyle, belief systems, cultures, and worldviews from that of the mainstream norms.
Yes, but there has to be a caveat that a lot of the mainstream norms are dictated by Westerners. Malaysians have our own cultures and values that we hold here. So yes, we have to implement laws to ensure our diversity and our culture of the Malaysian values and not those of general international values. We can't just because by following the cultural mainstreams, the global cultural we are making compromise to our own personal values too. But yes, we definitely need to start looking at that and to respect it and to implement laws.
There's part two, which is more open-ended question. So what do you see as the main issue in the constituency that you are in that have to be dealt with?
One of the main issues over here would be local council issues, such as potholes, clock drains. Subang is a fairly developed city already. It's a very developed city, not fairly. But a lot of these issues are local council issues. So what needs to be done is to bring back the local council elections. You know, you have to by having the current system we have today, it's a system of political patronage and political favors. By bringing back local council elections, those who are in charge of looking after local council issues are accountable for their actions, as opposed to this. The other issue that we want to raise is the high congestion and traffic of Subang Jaya. So the way we can look at this is by making Subang more walkable. We want better pedestrian walkways, personal mobility devices such as bicycles, e-scooters, make it safer and more convenient for everyone to use, and address the first and last mile connectivity.
Cool. Thank you. Number two, what is your vision for this constituency if you are elected as ADU?
I definitely would like to make Subang more connected in terms of the transit time to better the lives of the citizens over here, make their lives easier to go about, not dealing with the traffic jams, the potholes in the roads. We also would like to push on overdevelopment of Subang Jaya, and preserve whatever green spaces we have left. So every housing residence, they usually have a big park in the middle. We have to maintain those facilities, plant more trees, improve whatever sports facilities that we have around here. Yeah.
Number three, I think you touched a little bit on this, but what are the actions that you will take to ensure better quality of life in your constituency?
Yeah, it's an overlap of my last two questions. But yeah, so one would be local council elections. Number two, first and last mile, walkability. Also walkability will also lead to health benefits for the people over here, the sports facilities and green spaces.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
We come to part three. Is the rapid fire question, so you can yes, no, or pass these questions. I'm just gonna give it. So number one, would you introduce systemic change in state and PBTs to improve the service delivery, people-centric, inclusive, and holistic, to focus on institutional reforms and structural changes?
Yes.
Two, work actively to eliminate corrupt practices in state and local councils through prosecution, revamp of administrative processes.
Yes.
Three, holistic, whole of society approach in managing Selangor, eliminate silo working culture.
Yes.
Number four, institutionalize public participation, increase local representative by reinstating local council election.
Yes.
Five, actively promote unity and harmony in communities, constituencies, towns, and cities, eliminating negatives of race and religion.
Definitely a yes.
Six, transparency in state and PBT processes. Question the use of OSA for issues that has no threat to the nation.
Yes.
Seven, curbing overdevelopment. Development in line with an integrated master plan, which includes but not limited to carrying capacity for Selangor. Ensure the KLSP 2040 and the SSP 2035 are in sync. Follow the acts, especially for hillside and TOD development.
Yes.
Eight, prioritize the improvement of living quality in PPR and low-cost flats.
Definitely a yes.
Nine, public transportation, first and last mile connectivity.
Yep.
And 10, implement a Selangor Climate Emergency Act and Climate Change Select Committee.
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess a lot of the rapid fire points have been addressed earlier on. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We're done with the questions. So you can have your 3 to 5 minutes is fine of why should people vote for you? Go ahead.
All right. So my name is Zayd. I'm a 27-year-old, first time running in election. Why people should vote MUDA? It's time for a new face. It's time for a new party, new minds to enter politics. We are here for check and balance. We want to ensure that there is whoever contests in Selangor will always have a strong opposition. Whether we sit in the government bloc or the opposition bloc, we will serve as a strong opposition. We will be the loudest voice of the people in the Dewan Undangan Negeri. We will bring up every issue that is to be raised up there. This is why MUDA and me representing the party will be the right choice. I will serve as the check and balance. I will always carry the people's voice up there. And no matter what it is, the people will always come first. We will improve the lives and make Subang Jaya a lot more comfortable to live in.
Thank you. So, is that all?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, and
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.